Welcome to the Gleeful Meeple, a podcast all about board games where strategy meets laughter and paradoxes are inevitable. In this episode, we bring out the Crystal Meeple to look into 2025 at our most anticipated games, our board game goals, and our predictions. We dare to answer the question, is the cat dead or alive? In this week's game of the show, Cat in the Box. And you, the Gleeples, get to play along, just ignore that smell, as the hosts get put in the hot seat with this week's game challenge. Don't be fooled. Being able to pick the color of your card in a trick-taking game might seem like flexibility, but in reality, it's a trap. And you don't want to be the one causing a paradox. Just think of the kittens. Hey, fellow trick-taking scientists.
Hi, James. It's Emily.
It's Dwayne.
Howdy doody, and JK is JK.
And this is James. You guys, I have an opening riddle for you.
Let's go.
It's been so long.
I'm very proud of this one.
Okay.
I'm going to say it slowly.
Okay.
And I'm going to request that if you know what the answer is,
Mm-hmm.
don't blurt it out.
Okay.
Let me get to the end.
Okay.
Okay.
But as I say it slowly, I'm going to stare into all your eyes and see if you're getting it.
Throw those hands up when you think you have it, though.
Okay.
Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga won't help you here. Going the distance is where you should steer. Sub and a replacement, and you might get stuck. They say third time's a charm, and it certainly seems like gold has been struck. Landlubbers need not apply. Great effort is required. There is no try.
Shallow sea?
No.
Okay.
But you got it. You got the reference. I'm impressed.
Okay.
Oh, the song.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, A Star is
I
Born?
know I'm going to get the music reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the title of the
I
movie.
got Star is Born, and that's all I have.
So shallow.
Shallow.
Won't help you here.
It's not
Oh.
shallow. Deep sea.
Going the distance is where you should steer.
Deep blue?
Sub
No.
and a replacement, and you might get stuck. They say third time's a charm.
Endeavor deep,
Deep
sea?
Sea.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got there.
I
All
think
right.
that's a throwback to last year.
I know. I was like, I feel like Endeavor Deep Sea comes up every time, and I'm never expecting it.
Well, that's why I did it this time, because you weren't expecting it
Of
last
course.
episode. I thought it would be top of mind, so it might take you there. Great job, JK.
Thanks.
Y'all, I did something fun with my winter vacation. I got to go up to Philadelphia for PAX Unplugged.
Oh, you did. That's right.
I have never, it was my first time at a PAX Expo, and it was really interesting. It is a cool vibe.
I heard it ended with a blast.
Yeah, I may have ended up in the hospital, but that's beside the point. That the time before that was perfectly fun.
Beside the point? I don't think so. I think this is the perfect time
Did you fall
to
down and hit
talk
your
about
head again?
this.
No.
No, this was of the illness variety.
Yeah,
Oh.
I learned of something called the norovirus.
Oh, no.
Which, yeah,
Bro.
it's fun when the doctor tells you have something and you have to look it up and you're like, oh no.
Apparently, there were 91 outbreaks reported that weekend
Nice.
alone.
Thank you, Philadelphia cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I do blame. It's either the wing. I did kind of eat whatever I wanted to when I was up there, so it was
As
either
you
the
do.
deli food or the wings that I had at 1 a.m. the night before, because we were up all night just finding stuff to get into. It was amazing.
Well, PAX Unplugged is officially the second largest board game convention in the U.S. now. It's past Origins. So
Whoa.
And it's crazy because it did not feel. One, it's so organized. Some quick highlights. It's so organized. They don't have a mass shove into the dealer hall when it opens. They have a cube ropes, and they have everybody in, and then everybody orderly makes their way. The other thing, I don't know how they get their volunteers. They call them enforcers, which I was like, that sounds really strong. I don't know where they get their enforcers from, but every interaction I had with an enforcer was pleasant. They were having a great time. There was one guy, Ryan and I got in line, friend of the show, Ryan and I got in line for Jonathan Colton early because I had to be like front row for him. And there was an enforcer there who had 2 big inflatable D20s, and he was going around and having competitions with people. And if you beat him, he had prizes for you.
Yeah.
It was that part of the con. My experience with volunteers is not always that pleasant, and they were just really having a good time.
Yeah, they have their own community. I've been to a couple PAX, not Unplugged, but a couple PAX events. PAX West a couple times, then East, way back when the first East one up in Boston. And they run an immaculate event. And yes, the enforcers have such a tight-knit community that they go from event to event. They have its own thing. Super impressive. So they run really, really solid events. Look forward to trying Unplugged myself at some point.
Yeah. Hopefully we can make it up there again one day.
Well, there's a lot of conventions to go to every single year.
There are.
Might be some happening this year. And, if we're going to look into the future a little bit, guys, we have a pretty fun discussion today.
Oh, what are we talking about?
We're going to look forward into this coming year about maybe, some games we're excited about, some board game predictions, things we think are going to come true in the industry, and set ourselves some goals that we are probably not going to hit.
James, I have a hard time remembering what I did last week. You want me to think about last year? Man.
Fortunately,
It was a whole 1 month ago.
Fortunately, we wrote a lot of it down.
Okay.
Yes. So if you've been listening to us for a little while, all the way back in episode 2, we named some of our most anticipated games for 2024. And a year later, almost, we're going to look back and see, did we actually play them? If so, do we like them? Did we not? Were they hot garbage? Or did they meet all of our expectations?
Ooh, fun.
So I'll start if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So my most anticipated from last year were Unconscious Mind, Clank Legacy 2, Meadow the Adventure Book, and Windmill Valley. I had a few honorable mentions. One of them that was I needed JK to help me with. So we didn't get to the honorable mention last year. But, man, Unconscious Mind, I finally got that played a couple weeks ago. Anybody else played it?
I love it.
You
I
love
have
it?
No,
it.
but I would like to get
Can you
that
do a
played.
quick, one sentence? What is Unconscious Mind?
Therapy, the game.
Oh, that's right. We did mention it a couple times last year. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just one sentence.
Yeah, really nice components. You are helping. You are a psychologist in the Freudian era.
Huh.
Trying to use his techniques to cure patients.
You are contemporaries of Freud.
Yes. It's an action selection game. It's a little bit of an area control game on the city board. It is working through trying to solve these dilemmas to help these patients. The art on it is stellar. And I didn't realize how they did the art until I got it in my house and I went, oh, this is really cool. Because it deals with the real world as you're treating all these patients. And then it also deals with the fantasy world of their delusions and craziness.
Oh, wow.
So Vincent Dutrait does the art for the real world.
Okay.
There's another artist
Yeah.
that does the
Bosley.
fantasy world.
Andrew Bosley.
Cool idea.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you see it split. So there's a real world element and then the fantasy world. And it goes together so well. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
All right.
it's neat. And when you put those cards down, they also have clear cards you put on top of them, which represent the grief layers. And those are ink blot images that, once you're healing them and you're helping them with their grief, you remove those cards. So their grief is gone. They're still having dreams, though, and you got to keep healing them. So a Euro through and through, super crunchy, really heavy. I mean, my first teach of this was an hour. It was a lot.
Wow.
But very, very fun.
Yeah.
So glad I finally got it played. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to. If you like heavy Euros, if you like that theme, it's a really cool theme. Check it out. But it's a brain investment. You got to put some time into that one.
I had The Dark Quarter, which is a big box game coming in tandem from Lucky Duck Games and Van Ryder Games. That was listed as a 2024 release. I'm a little mad we still don't have it yet. Reportedly, it is on a train on its way to Tennessee where they're going to do distribution. The other problem with this, though, is it is an app-driven game. and they have recently announced that the app is not going to be ready until April.
So you're going to get the game and not be able to play it.
Not be able to play it.
Oh.
Yeah. A little testy over that, but I get that they're trying to get everything finalized, give us a good working product, and hopefully it turns out to be okay. It's the same crew that did Destinies, which was app driven and can be played solo, can be played with a group. It's got a really nice game functionality to it. They're doing it in a 1980s horror themed New Orleans. So the theme is great. It looks beautiful. Just want to play it.
Well, this is a great little side question with it was a crowdfunded game, right?
Yeah.
So this is a perfect example of having to be able to be okay with going with the flow. Normally, if you bought a product at a store, they would not release that product until it was all ready to go, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have the decision right now to say, hey, we could treat it like a real product and just not ship it to you until it's ready, or go ahead and get it in your hands.
Yeah.
Which would make backers less angry. Holding on to the product, probably, right?
I've had a lot of backer rage over the last year. I'm content with having this and letting it sit on my shelf until the rest is ready.
So, all right, who else?
I feel bad because a lot of my most anticipated I never got to see last year. But the one that I did get to see, even though I did not get to play it firsthand, got to watch some friends play Last of Us, Escape the Dark. And just the table was full of Last of Us fans and they all enjoyed it. So it just reaffirmed. I was like, okay, I would enjoy this if I was to play this again. I just had a weird Gen Con experience and wasn't sure if it was really going to hit the mark, and they all loved it.
Is that the mushroom zombies?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
The infected.
Okay.
So I had two anticipated games of last year. It was a Space-Based Genesis, and I made you a mixtape. I got distracted, as I am wont to do, and did not get to play any of them. So I am going to steal from y'all's list of things that I did get to play. And I'll start, JK, you may have some things you want to say, with Marvel United Multiverse.
Yes. That's my other Kickstarter rage. But you go ahead and give your comments first.
Yeah, I've only played. We got a lot of content in the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. And I did open up the base multiverse box. There are now 4 base games for Marvel United.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
are you counting Spider-Geddon as one of them? Okay,
yeah. So, I guess things that you can just play if you only own that, then you can play the game. So Multiverse, had some fun heroes. We got our Agent Carter in there, and Loki as a hero this time. So it's more Marvel United. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It did get me going back into the game and doing some deeper dives.
I have played more Marvel United in the last month than I have since I've owned the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to really immerse myself in it and see if I really like it as much as I think I do. Yeah. And I do.
Good.
But yeah, that shipping process, boy, for a game to be finalized in April, and we don't have it in our hands until late December, early January. But other people that didn't do the Kickstarter could get it before that. That was just annoying. I still have a sore spot for Simon, even with the news that the guy from Man vs. Meeple is taking over as their marketing director. Maybe he can solve this before DC United comes out next year.
Yeah, I have some hope with David Waybright taking over. If you've never watched Man vs. Meeple on YouTube, check it out. But he just recently announced as the new marketing director, so maybe he can steer that boat back around. I'll quickly mention my last two that I did get played. Windmill Valley was a Euro designed by Danny Garcia from Barcelona and Arborea. Great Euro game with farming tulips in Sweden, where Sweden's known for their rows of beautiful tulips. And the core of that game was 2 big gear wheels that are interconnected that, as you move one, the other moves, and that's your action selection mechanism. Won't go into all the detail, but super fun just to play the game just for that pure fact alone. And the other one was Meadow Adventure Book. We featured Meadow last season on the podcast. And Adventure Book is an expansion where basically Meadow's, split. The main game is split into 2 pieces: the main board where you get your cards from, and then what's called a campfire board. This Adventure Book replaces the campfire board with a fold-open, spiral-bound book. So when you open it up, it creates kind of this map on both sides.
Okay, a little like Gloomhaven?
Yeah, like that. But rather than a map that you would traverse in a dungeon crawl, it's just it's mini games that replace the campfire board.
Oh.
And there's 6 of them.
Okay.
So in the box, in the actual adventure, the product, the box itself, there's 6 mini boxes that, depending on which page you're opening it up to, you grab that mini box and it has extra components you pull out just to play with that one little.
Well, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it looks. I have it. I got it all punched out, ready to play. I haven't had a chance to play it actually, but I have no doubt I'm going to love it. It just looks awesome. It's such a great, unique way to approach an expansion. So
I do want to add 2 that I kind of missed the boat on before they came out, so they weren't on my list at the start of last season. But Fromage is fantastic. Got that recently. Really enjoy that. I'll be breaking that one out fairly frequently. And one that James, you had the opportunity to play with me. I don't think you cared for it as much, but Rock Hard 1977.
yeah, I need more plays of it. There were some things I didn't like about it, like dealing with randomness and things of that nature, some unbalances.
Yeah,
but knowing that going in now, my second play would be different.
Yeah,
because once outside of that, it was. I mean, the theme is just
one of the best
on
theme
point.
games that came out
So
last year.
good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I still need to get a play of that in.
It's very thematic. I'll say that, and you'll just laugh every time you go to take candy.
I had a chance to buy it on a 30% off retail, but I knew you had it. I was like, I'm just gonna, because mostly I've heard good things, but here and there I'm like, I run into people who didn't care for it, and so I was like, I'm gonna get a play in before I make the decision to purchase it. But when you're staring at a box that has that DeVere publisher on it, you're like, it's probably gonna be good, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's most of our most anticipated from last year. So if we're looking back, let's look forward a little bit. Are you looking forward to any games
Boy,
this year?
and how.
You go, Dwayne.
Okay. Wait, are we doing all of ours at once, or do we want to just go around the table a little bit?
Let's popcorn around a little bit.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to start with something that I have already purchased through Kickstarter, or through, not Kickstarter, GameFound, I guess, technically, and that is Puerto Rico Special Edition.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and everything that they allowed me to buy, like, I think you could add on San Juan, the card game version of Puerto Rico. I used to have it, and, through means it is now no longer in my collection. I don't know what happened to it. So
it might
I have
be in
a
my
chance.
house. You never know.
It's possible. It's somewhere, I'm sure. But I'm really looking forward to that. They were making some wonderful upgrades. They were making some new expansions and some new mechanics to the game. A new solo version, 2-player rules, which have never officially been included with the game, but the designer did create at some point and kind of threw them on BGG. So that is probably my most anticipated.
Okay.
Supposed to ship in October. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we should say a lot of these sometimes are crowdfunding games, and they might make it or they might not in time for the year. We'll see.
Well, I've already dropped hints about Dark Quarter and DC United, which should be coming this year, maybe DC United next year. We'll see about that. My first one that I would say for this year, since we're going to break these up a little bit, is I know it's just been released and is just shipping. I unfortunately did not back it, but Final Girl Season 3.
Yeah. All right.
I want to get all those.
I didn't even look far enough in because I have so much unplayed Final Girl on my shelf right now. I didn't even look to see kind of like what the takes on movies are that they're doing this time. So hopefully I'll get around to grabbing that at some point.
Yeah.
The first one I'll mention is a game that is actually already out, and I own it, but I have not played it. So I'm technically still anticipating it.
Fair enough.
Is Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game.
Oh, James.
Okay.
You are in for such a treat.
I'm so excited.
I have had a chance to play
Oh, you have?
Yes. And it's like The Crew, but with more defined missions. You get to choose your hobbit or character at the beginning of every turn, which will at the beginning of every round, which will give you some special abilities. But if you like The Crew and you are a Tolkien fan, it is going to be a perfect game for you.
Why are we in a Lord of the Rings renaissance?
There's a lot going on right now.
There's all sorts of Lord of the Rings stuff coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, licenses have been moving around a little bit as of late. Middle-earth Enterprises just kind of became its own entity again. It came out from under the wing of its parent company, which I'm blanking on the name of right now. So maybe that has something to do with it. But there's a lot. I mean, Seven Wonders Duel, another Lord of the Rings game from the designer of Pandemic just got announced.
Wow.
Matt Leacock. So yeah, all kinds of things. But yeah, cooperative trick taking with Lord of the Rings. I mean, it just sounds awesome.
JK, are you ready for Lord of the Rings United?
No more. I am done with the United stuff.
How about you, Emily?
Turn off that Google alert you have, JK. I am actually kind of taking a pause on some like new board games, and then because I'm moving this year, so I'm like, okay, I got to keep my board game collection kind of like where it's at. So
they are a bulky move item. That is fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then Keymaster Games announced that they were going to do a second edition Parks.
Let's
And
go.
let me tell you, I went to that website so fast just trying to figure out, because the way they've presented it is they have play tested and researched Parks base and their expansions, and they are taking the best aspects of all three of those things. You have the Nightfall expansion and the Wildlife expansion, and putting it all into one game. They say it's going to be more streamlined.
Okay.
The artwork is beautiful. You have a little player card where you have your canteen and a backpack where you can put your 12 tokens. And so it's very clear what your token limit is, and you don't have to forget and look it up in the rule book all the time. And so I'm very interested. I can tell from some of the artwork what elements they're bringing in from the expansions. And I'm afraid I'm getting my hopes up really, really high.
It's pretty. I looked at it.
It's very pretty.
I almost pre-ordered it because I'm with Keymaster right now in another campaign, and they offered it in the
for Fuego.
No, for
Okay.
Harvest.
Okay,
They did an expansion
That's
for
right.
Harvest.
That's right.
Okay.
So I'm in the pledge manager for Harvest, and they
Nice.
offered it through that if you wanted to pre-order it, and it would ship separately. So I looked it up. Oh, it's nice.
It's nice. I have somehow kept myself from pre-ordering it, but I don't think I will be able to hold out for much longer.
They have a deluxe and a normal version.
Yes.
The deluxe. Whew.
Has
Yes.
Keymaster always been known for like deluxe versions of their games?
They've been known for their base games just to be good quality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not necessarily deluxeified, but just
Yeah.
good components to start with.
Did they
'Cause
get
that's
an
what, like-
influx of cash or something recently? Because Harvest is beautiful. What I've seen of Park Second Edition looks great.
Caper
So-
Europe.
Yeah. Space Park.
Their deluxe component is the metal coins.
Yeah.
I was like, I do remember getting that from Gen Con. They have like cardboard coins that you can just swap out for the metal ones.
Yeah, Caper Europe's great. It's when you open a little 2-player game, but it's
Park's
it's
rolling,
velvet
right?
green inside.
It
Like,
has a long pencil, and like roll and writes don't always have that.
yeah, no, they just invest in production quality. They always have, even for the retail editions. So
Very nice.
yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. Well, another one for me would be Etherstone. So this is a weird one. This is a card game from the designers of Darwin's Journey.
Okay.
It's kind of a card battler, but not just for 2 players. It's for 4 players. So it's a crowdfunded game, but I'm just curious to see what are these Euro designers that have always done Euro games going to make happen with a card game. So that's pretty much it. I'm all in.
My number 2 for the year is on a Kickstarter right now or GameFound. I looked at it. I opted not to back it, but I thankfully believe that you did, James, from what is it? Chip Theory Games. Their new game coming out, Roth.
I did back it.
Yay. Good.
Yeah,
Good
it's
choice.
from Chip Theory, but the designer is the designer of that works with Roxley mostly.
Yeah.
Manning. Blanking on his first name.
Manny Tremblay?
Manning Tremblay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, he's the designer, but he's working with Chip Theory.
It's so pretty.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Okay, that's my number 2.
I'll try anything by Chip Theory Games, and I was not
Oh,
aware
yeah.
that this was an option. So I'm
It
excited.
seems to
I'm
be
excited with you.
It seems to be a little lighter than most of
Yes.
the other stuff. It's. I think they even advertised it as a midweight game. So
Interesting.
Yep. Who's next?
Well, I am looking forward to Flashpoint Legacy of the Flame.
that
Have
looks
you all
so
ever
fun.
played Flashpoint?
yeah,
The firefighting
Okay.
game?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So it's basically Pandemic, but you're a firefighter, which by definition means it's a better version of Pandemic. Because like a firefighter to me is that career that I was always obsessed with as a kid. And
You
when I
didn't grow
first
up wanting to solve pandemics and diseases? And save them?
so the chance to play a legacy version of that seems very interesting to me, and I'll be very curious to see if they're able to kind of divert from the similarities of Pandemic.
wonder how you do a legacy of that. This building is on fire again. Every
probably
month, this building burns down.
But
Different part of the
imagine
cities
you could
or city or Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Emily, but imagine like it could be the career of a firefighter, you know, that kind of
like
thing.
going from like pro B to firefighter to chief to interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I have not looked into the game aside from its coming out, so I don't know what the idea or the philosophy is or the gameplay even, but I am excited to try it.
Let's see. There are. Oh, I don't know how to do it without spoiling the next part of our conversation.
We can save it.
Yeah, I'm going to save it.
Okay.
Okay, well, one more for me is going to be Regicide Legacy.
Yeah.
So if you've ever played Regicide the card game, it's.
I want to see how that one gets turned into a legacy. I'm interested in that.
Intrigued by the pure curiosity of it. I mean, if you haven't played Regicide, it's a basically a 52 card deck of cards that could actually be played with a normal deck of cards, but a company just turned it into an actual product with art and it's all this kind of stuff.
They opted not to call it deck of cards the upcharge.
Yeah. But it is still inexpensive. It's not cheap if you want. I mean, it's not. You can buy it. It is inexpensive, but super hard cooperative little card game. It's challenging. I think it's fun. I like it. I enjoyed it. Wasn't in love with it, but how they're going to turn it into a legacy game, I just have pure curiosity. So yeah, I backed it. So I'm getting it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. My number one most anticipated game for this year will shock you guys, and it will shock you because
from Simon?
I think 3, if not all 4 of us have had a chance to play this already.
Oh.
And I was stunned how much I liked this.
I think I know where you're going with this.
I don't know.
Stunned,
so I'm excited.
shocked.
Is this by a local studio?
It is a local studio. I'm going with Tend as my most
Yeah.
anticipated
Of course, yeah.
That thing kind of broke my brain when we were playing it, but it was so much fun. I want to try it again just to see different approaches and see how it all works once you kind of get comfortable playing the game. It was great.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I thoroughly enjoyed the game. When I saw it, I did run into that team at PAX and talked to them a little bit, and then immediately threw it out of my mind as something that was going out this year. So yeah, that will be fun to play again.
Yeah, talk about a heavy rolling, right? It's a big one.
There's so much to it.
It's different though. It's unique.
When they explained it to us, like I almost checked out partway through the teach.
It's a lot.
And then once it kind of like we got rolling, plus I may have had a couple beers in me too, so that didn't help.
They were giving them away for free. We had to help.
I guess. Yeah.
It
was so much fun.
So I'm looking forward to Paranoia, the uncooperative board game, which is based on the Paranoia role-playing universe. Are you all familiar with Paranoia at all?
No.
I was so glad you said no because I really want to walk you through this. Okay, so Paranoia is
Hold on, let me grab some coffee and let me get comfy.
I'll give it short. I'll give you the short version, James. Think like Orwell's 1984, but the most hilarious version of that world.
Okay.
So basically, humanity's been living underground. It's the year 234, but it's been that year as long as anyone can remember. There is a mildly insane computer that's in control of everything. And you die so often in this role-playing game that you don't roll a character, you roll a 6-pack of clones because you will probably die in the mission briefing. It is whackety schmackety death and carnage and finger-pointing accusations. So I got to talk to the publisher a little bit last year at Gen Con, and when he said it is world's first thoroughly uncooperative board game, I was like, yes, this sounds delightful and the right play for the Paranoia universe.
That sounds on point for you, Dwayne. I'm excited for you to get to play that.
Maybe I'll expose you to it at some point.
All right, I'm done with.
All right, I'm going to quickly go through my last 3 just to mention them. Point Galaxy, which is the third in the Point trilogy.
Okay.
So Point City, Point Salad, and now we got Point Galaxy. So that's the third one there. I just love those games.
That's what I saw it, and it looks so pretty, and I love the color scheme. But I'm just not gonna go for it because I already like Point City, and making it a space theme isn't as appealing to me. So if you like space theme, this one is for you though.
Yeah, it's supposed to actually be more like Point Salad than Point City. It's going to go back to its roots a little
interesting.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other 2, we have Luthier, which is a heavy Euro about building violins.
Vintage trade.
Yeah, and vintage trade art.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it looks. I almost backed it. I should have. We went to Gen Con, saw it in person. I almost late backed it and still didn't. I'm kind of regretting it. And lastly, Coming of Age, which is the next game from Danny Garcia. He actually has a couple coming out this year, but It's like a life game, which I'm not usually into that kind of, here's a play out a story of a life or that kind of a thing. But it's Danny Garcia doing it, and he has all my attention now whenever he puts out games. So
very nice.
Coming of age, it's going to be an interesting one for me personally, I think.
I've got two more that kind of caught my eye, and one is it's a new print of March of the Ants, the Evolved Edition. I've heard a lot of good things about that game. I never had a chance to play. It was going for a pretty penny at one point, so I never picked it up. So I'd like to try that. And then Soda Jerk, which just has this wonderful 50s aesthetic to it.
Who? I think I've seen something about that. Do you know who's printing that?
Soda Jerk?
Yeah.
I don't.
I saw box art or something. It looked pretty.
That's one of my judge it by the cover and not even concern myself with what it's about.
All right. Well, those are some of our most anticipated games. Maybe if they sounded like fun to you, check them out. Go to BoardGameGeek.com and see if they look interesting. It's going to be a big year. Lots of great games. But moving on from most anticipated, how about some predictions?
Oh, I got a biggie.
Oh?
Do tell.
I'm calling this one right here. So 2023 was the year of the roll and write. 2024 was the year of the trick-taking game.
Fair, yeah.
2025, I'm calling it year of the duel.
And that would make sense given Furnace Duel is coming out. Azul Duel
Potion
is coming
Explosion
out.
Duel.
Oh.
Yeah. There are so many duel games coming out. And I don't hate that idea. I like the idea of compacting everything down to a two-player game. But man, our group is about inclusion and getting more people to play. And now they're just kind of throw out more of these only two-player games. I hate it.
Did you say Everdell? There's an Everdell duo coming out.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't say that, but yeah.
I think it's good because a lot of those games play great at 3 or 4 players, but the 2-player playing with 2 is just
bad,
meh at best sometimes. So I know Splendor Duel was something I don't care for Splendor very much, but Splendor Duel was really good.
Yeah, I think you're gonna. We'll come back to these in a year from now, but I think it's safe to say you're gonna win that one. Yeah.
I mean, I hate it. My opinion may change. I hated on BGG our first episode, and now I'm kind of addicted to BGG or not, BGA. So
Board Game Arena.
We'll see.
But BGG, we've never said a bad thing about you.
No. BGG, we never.
BGG, we love you.
Yes. 2-player gaming is 2025.
My prediction is a little bit, I think more on the vague side, but I think we're going to, as AI just continues to be on the rise and AI slop is becoming more and more of a common phrase I'm hearing, I feel like we're just going to have some AI slop controversy hit the board game industry that I haven't been aware of before.
Emily is a 55-year-old man not in the tech industry. I don't know what AI slop is. Please explain.
So the AI slop is just kind of a term, like those AI images and they just like don't really look right or they look super fake and they just like don't look good. That is just anything that's kind of like a bad quality image or something generated by AI.
So you think specifically like board game art done by AI?
Potentially, or maybe a marketing campaign or something. I just feel like it has been a growing topic, and I think there have been some topics or some discourse about AI in board games and whatnot. And so I'm just trying to get into the weeds in some of these board game news circles or board game forum circles, see if I can uncover a controversy as it's happening.
Didn't Terraforming Mars catch some heat for
exactly? That was the one I was thinking of too. Yeah, because I knew. Yeah, like once again, that's like I know it happened before. I just I think it's going to happen again, or we're going to see it in a new kind of iteration of whatever happened to Terraforming Mars.
I think we'll see companies taking a stance on just how they're gonna incorporate AI in different aspects of creating a product, but I think we'll hear about certain companies just taking a stance of like anything creative based. We're not doing AI.
Yeah,
or this other
that
company
makes sense
says,
too. Yeah,
like we'll use it for prototypes, but then nothing else.
Yeah,
you'll see
I think it's definitely going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be more in the conversation this year than ever before.
All right, cool.
I did try late last year, in a couple games that I was learning and struggling with the rule book. I went to ChatGPT and said, "Explain this game to me," and it actually did a decent job with a couple of them.
Interesting.
Yeah, sometimes it's on point.
Just make sure you check the rule book afterwards.
Yes. Fun facts.
Have y'all thought about anything that might be up for the Spiel des Jahres yet?
Oh,
I am not.
Unconscious Mind.
Okay.
Harmonies actually, I think is getting pretty
Yeah.
for that weight. They love those
Yeah.
medium weight games. I could see that really pushing through.
SETI is another one that's really hot right now.
How about Daybreak? Do you think it has a chance?
Is that the Save the Earth from a bunch of stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Matt Leacock.
Um,
Yeah.
Played it once, won it once. I was
Yeah.
kind of done at that point.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't love it, but it seems like people are enjoying it, so I'm wondering if it's got a shot.
The Spiel doesn't usually really favor heavier games, even in their heavy quote unquote division. They have a limit, I feel like sometimes, but maybe.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I think we'll get nominees in the near future.
Yeah,
We'll have to revisit when they come out and see if we can make some predictions.
well, that'd be fun.
Give us one of your predictions for the year. I got another one after you.
All right. One of mine is going to be, I'll do two quick ones. How about that? One of mine is that Asmodee is going to start acquisitions again. So they recently split from their parent company. I'm blanking on the name again all of a sudden. Embracer Group, which also owned Middle-earth Enterprises, going back to previous. But they split into 3 entities, and so Asmodee is independent again. Now, Embracer saddled most of their debt with Asmodee when they split, so they got some climbing out of the hole to do. But now that they're independent, I know right before they got purchased by Asmodee or by Embracer Group, they had tons of acquisitions lined up, and they all got put in the can.
Oh, wow.
And I think all those conversations are going to start opening back up again. So I think we're going to see new acquisitions from Asmodee, as they used to do pretty regularly. And I think we're going to see 10 plus new Reiner Knizia games released,
Wow.
because it's Dr. Knizia. And they just keep retheming his games and re-releasing
I was
them.
going to say new or just variant versions of stuff that he's
both
already done.
and.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. That's 2 from me. I'll get one more we'll come back to.
Okay.
Nice.
I got a big concern. And one is that a lot of board games are being produced overseas right now. And in our current political climate, are we going to see costs skyrocket for games coming in from China?
Maybe.
Just depends with the way they handle if actual tariffs get put into place. If so, yes, we will see prices increase. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
That'll be something that'll be interesting to do, kind of like a pricing comparison, like last year, this year, next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have the industry in the U.S., the infrastructure to replace the manufacturing, right? If manufacturing comes to the U.S., we actually don't have board game manufacturing here. We have like 1 or 2 small factories that are very limited. They don't do the molds that Panda does in China. We're not set up for it. So the board game publishers won't actually be able to use U.S. manufacturers as an option. They'll still have to purchase from outside.
It will just be more.
It'll just be more expensive, which
There's-
gets brought to us.
There's so much momentum in the board game industry right now. I'm worried that
This might slow
they're
it down.
expensive as it is. If you make it even more, how many people that are maybe on the fringe of the hobby fall off, and it kind of kills that momentum. It worries me.
Maybe that's what the 2-player games get a little
There
bit of
you
a
go.
cheaper
Yeah,
option.
That's true. Yeah.
Just survive.
Or we start seeing less screen printed meeples and we go back to cubes.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, that would be an interesting
mean,
way to take it. Just
Yeah.
start downgrading components. Oh my God, we've lived a dream
We
life
really
for the
have.
last few years.
It is. It really is. Do you have any others, Dwayne?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Well, my last one I'll mention is more games being re-released as new versions with their expansions baked in.
Like I mentioned with Parks.
Like Parks. So I wrote up this
Before it was announced.
Before it was announced, so I'm still holding to it, even though it's already
we
come
just
through.
couldn't record
Yeah.
fast enough.
I think we're going to see more of these games that came out, were very successful, and had a few expansions come out, and the company's trying to figure out, well, how do we keep this product line going? They're re-releasing them as new versions of the game with the best parts of the expansions built in. So you got Parks 2nd edition. We have, even going all the way back to Raiders of Scythia, right? That was Raiders of the North Sea, re-released with some of the best parts of the expansions. Everdell Far Shore is Everdell re-released with the best parts of the expansion, and now they can, continue on the Everdell line through that. Dune Imperium had Dune Imperium Uprising. that's them taking Dune Imperium and taking the best pieces of the expansions and re-releasing it as Uprising. So I think there's going to be more of those coming out.
We even saw that with Unfathomable taking the best bits of the Battlestar Galactica base game and 3 expansions, and now they improved on that last year with a small expansion for Unfathomable.
Yep.
In a similar vein, I have a game called Scoville, which is a lot of fun.
Oh,
Breeding
yeah.
Hot Peppers. There's a new version of Scoville coming out because it's gone out of print, and it has Vincent Dutrait art. So does that mean I have to buy another version of Scoville? Yeah.
Now let me go ahead and answer for you, Jake.
Yes.
And initially, this made me mad. It was like, how many times am I going to have to buy the same game over and over again? And I started to get ticked off about it. And then I realized, think back to like classic games like Stratego, Clue, Monopoly. How many times have those countlessly been printed over and over and over again in new versions? So this isn't anything new. It's just finally something I'm paying attention to.
And a second edition where it's really just a reprint, it's just a new edition. I won't count those if we're looking back on this because it's a new product just because it's a new edition. It's just being re-released, but same rules and all that. But my guesses would be Viticulture, Terraforming Mars, and maybe Space Base. But I think Terraforming Mars is ripe for this. I mean, everybody
even with the Automa last year.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody always plays with whatchamacallit baked in. Prelude baked in. And so and from the other expansions, I'm sure there's favorite stuff and not favorite stuff. They could easily re-release it with some of the best stuff baked in and make it, fix some of the things in the rule book and all the stuff that makes it harder to play, and boom, done. And then they're continuing the line.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say Wingspan?
So my thought on yes, but I think the reason they did Wormspan and Finspan is because they've tapped out Wingspan. So I think the reasoning behind it is the same, but they didn't exactly re-release Wingspan as a new version, right? With the expansions baked in, they are new games. So I see that in a little bit different frame, but I think the reasoning is the same. I think they're like, we can't just keep releasing Wingspan expansions. We got to get a new product line out there. Wormspan. Although I've heard it's supposed to be a trilogy, and Finspan is actually the last one.
We're not gonna do Pawspan.
No more spans. We're done with the spans next year.
Yeah, but that's mine. I think companies are going to keep trying to find ways to get their game reintroduced into the market with a new version.
Okay.
Sounds like it's going to be a good year.
It is. What better thing to look forward in the year with than is to set some goals to make it even better? Does anybody have any board game resolutions or board game goals?
Oh, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely have at least 2 or 3. First one is to finish our Pandemic Legacy Season 1.
Yeah.
We were hit with just some scheduling conflicts, and so we just could not go as weekly as we were hoping to when we first started doing this. We are currently in the month of August, and we're hoping to finish it out within the next 4 to 6 sessions, I think. So that's my first one.
Legacy games are tough. I mean, it's a lot of sessions to get through, and there's always one point in the middle where everyone's schedules just like all of a sudden conflict, and 2 months pass.
Or it's like not even like conflicting at the same time. It's just like it's a different person conflicting at different times.
Right.
Like, yeah. So yeah, that would be the first one. The second one is to start another Legacy game.
Nice.
I think I'm hooked.
Regicide Legacy?
I will see. And then someone else go while I remember what my third one was.
So my first, I came up with this system to determine what games I want to play out in my collection. And if I can't just immediately go, I want to play this today, I've got this little randomizer now that I can go through. And thanks to the BG stats and a couple spreadsheets that I've made, it'll give me a selection of games I can choose from.
Nice.
But one of the things I realized in doing that is that if it tells me that I should play Marvel United, I kind of hit a brick wall because I don't know what I should play in Marvel United, or what should I play in Cthulhu Death May Die or Final Girl. So I created a whole different subcategory. And I think what it's going to lead to is that this year I'm going to play more scenario-based games, things that have more content to it in my collection. I'm going to focus pretty heavily on that, and it's already kind of paying dividends from playing Marvel United several times over the last month. The other thing I want to lean into, it's become pretty apparent over my gaming habits the last couple of years that I've kind of leaned pretty heavily into heavy games, heavy Euros, big chunky things that take hours to play. And I've left those midweights behind. And I realized there's some really good midweights that have been coming out in the last couple of years, such as Fromage, that I've kind of glossed over. So I want to get back into playing the lighter stuff again this year.
Nice.
That's what I feel like I have a similar, I feel like gone the other direction, like so far light. I'm like, no, I want to get back to the midway, and I want to go for something heavier.
How about you, Dwayne?
So I've had 2 games on my shelf for years that I've always been interested in playing, but I just feel like it's a slog to learn them. One of them is Ogre Designer Edition from Steve Jackson Games, and I have fortunately been talking to some people at a convention I'm heading to soon, and they have a game set up, so I'm going to be able to knock that one out there. And the other one is a Civil War simulation game that I found for a great price at Goodwill one day. And I just haven't had the time to take out all those little cardboard chits and start moving them around a map. Apparently I can play it solitaire, which is probably what's going to happen, unless I can find a buddy to come for a weekend and we knock it out. So I would like to get both of those played before the end of the year.
Nice.
All right, specific game goals. I like it. Mine are I want to double the amount of plays that I had from last year. So just actual game plays. I had some life events last year, which kind of took me out of gaming for a long time. I mean, all of the summer and a little bit after that, and it just messed up all the way through winter. It was just a weird year. So I tracked 181 games played last year. And when I say that, I mean like instances, not like individual games. Like,
for the listeners at home, JK and Dwayne have both picked up their phone to now look at their stats.
They're like, how badly can I beat James?
I was at 460 plays, but that does include probably about 150 to 200 BGA games. Now we're in a stare down.
Yeah.
What you got, Dwayne?
Oh, I was actually. I needed to reference something for my next
okay,
goal.
okay.
But what are you looking at? All your plays?
Yep.
What are you at, JK?
257.
Okay, yeah. So doubling mine, my 181 would put me at 362. Just
definitely doable
plays of games.
The way we live our life, that is.
I don't yet have BGA synced up with my BG stats,
yes.
BGS. So
you
that
need
would
to show
help
me how to do that, Emily. Too.
Yeah.
So, and I guess I'll count that towards the plays. The plays are plays, right? I mean, does it really matter?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a hard line. If I don't take the time to sit down and set up the bits and touch the bits as I play the game, I don't count it.
Can you
That's why I haven't
in a
synced mine
different
up
way,
yet.
please?
Emily would like me to rephrase touch the bits, I guess? Okay, I can see. Oh, yes, I see.
So 362 plays in my future this year, hopefully. My other one is I want to focus on playing the games that I want to play when I'm gaming.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is I find myself in a lot of scenarios sometimes playing games that I would rather be playing other games. So mainly just less party games this year and more making time specifically for the games I want to play. And when I say the games I want to play, yes, specifically, but then also just the types of games. Yeah. Right? If I'm hanging out and I'm presented with the option of playing a party game, or I could wait a few minutes to get started into something else, I'll probably wait from that one. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna make very conscious decisions to play less party games this year whenever possible, and get more of the games in that I would like to get played.
That goes into my other resolution is like I want to teach more games because I feel like that's going to help me get in more games that I want to play.
There you go. Yeah.
I want to work on my teaching skills, teaching board game skills again. I taught Parks with 2 expansions to 3 new players last week, and I felt pretty proud of myself. And I'm like, if only I knew the other games I owned as well as I knew Parks, I would have such a less anxiety-inducing time trying to introduce people to games. So that was one of my resolutions. And my last one is I purchased Mansions of Madness and like a couple of expansions last year.
Oh.
Yeah, so I would like to crack those open, get them out of their shrink.
Paint those figures?
I will give them to someone else to paint.
They're small little things. They're probably not easy to paint.
No, but the people who do it well. So.
Oh man!
I also want to play more disc golf this year. I'm fat.
What board game is that?
I'm fat.
Get outside.
I looked at JK like I couldn't tell if he was serious or not.
More disc golf.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's great.
I'm kind of going from JK Hot to JK the Hut. So.
I'll join you in that. I love it. I did not get any disc golf played last year. My arm kind of hates me now, so I'll do my best. But if you want to disc golf, buddy, I'll be your disc golf buddy.
Aw, thanks.
No.
I have one more goal, and that is to get my H index is currently sitting at 19 right now. I
What
would
is
like
an
to get
H
that
index?
to 30. So an H index is you take it is it's tough for me to explain. Let's say you have
A man
24
loves a woman.
games. Let's say you have, in my case, I want to get 30 games that I have 30 plays of.
Ooh. Okay.
And that's not all in one year. That is like I have played 30 games 30 times. So so wherever, your highest, where that intersection of the number of games played equals the games you've played, that is your H index.
So if you've already played Battlestar Galactica 29 times in your lifetime, you want to knock that out once this year.
I want to knock that out, and then 29 other games I want to get 30 plays on.
Okay.
My last one is I want to make progress on my game design.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a board game design I'm working on.
That takes us back to our initial meeting for the podcast, and you had to move some board game design materials out of the way so we could sit down and have our meeting.
You're right. Yeah, when I originally invited you guys over.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with football?
It does not.
Oh,
I'll come back. I'll help you with that, though.
Okay. There is not a decent football board game.
The closest you can get is Blood Bowl and
Blood Bowl.
Blitzball.
Okay.
Yeah. And Pay Dirt, but Pay Dirt's like from the 70s.
Pizza box football is kind of fun.
Have you played Blood Bowl?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the closest.
It's not NFL football.
No, it's not.
I want a game where somebody can beat Patrick Mahomes.
Well, geez, we just went through a whole bunch of stuff to look forward to in 2025.
A nice glimpse into the future.
Yeah. The Meeple, the Crystal Meeple did not disappoint, I don't think.
We have so much to do this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to looking back a year from now and seeing how does it pan out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stories we'll tell. Hey Gleeples, James from the editing booth here. It looks like we've had some file gremlins on the very first episode of our podcast in 2025. So you are unfortunately not going to get to listen to the riveting conversation surrounding our thoughts on the colossal edition of Cat in the Box. I know. Just terrible. Join us next episode as we dive into some more conversation about one of maybe your favorite games. But for now, let's go ahead and get into a game of our own.
So I think we've talked enough about games that it's time to play a game on air. No, not a board game, a game about board games. This week, Dwayne has brought something to the table, and that includes dry erase markers and dry erase boards and an evil grin. I'm a little bit nervous, guys.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I know.
I'm so excited. So, guys, I really, really have an appreciation for symmetry. And 1 year ago...
For cemeteries?
For symmetry.
Symmetry. Okay.
1 year ago, on our first episode, we played a little game that I like to call the mashup. And I got a lot of hate from two of my co-hosts for this game. So, in tradition of revamping games, I bring to you the mashup
Second
volume
edition?
2.
Oh, God.
So, here's how we'll play.
My prediction came true, and the games are coming back in new forms.
No, this is Mashup Duel.
Oh.
I will select one of the co-hosts to be the main player for each round. The other two hosts will write, if they have an answer, can write the answer on their board. At that point, when the board writers have finished or have given up, I'll go back to the original co-host and get their answer. If you are falling behind and you get it right, I will give you 1 point. If it was your question, I will give you 2 points. This will make a lot more sense as we move along.
Sure.
But let me give a quick example for our listeners so they understand what's going on. So I am going to take a board game title and some other piece of pop culture history something. And I need you to mash those things together and give me a brand new title. So, taking from what we did last year, if I were to say, learn about the dangers of capitalism on the streets of Atlantic City as seen through the eyes of the alleged JFK assassin, the answer I'm looking for is Monopoly Harvey Oswald. JK remembers how this goes.
I do remember that one.
Okay. Emily,
Oh, no.
you are my first subject. James and JK, please get ready to write your answer. Emily, the darling children will learn how to fly and settle their differences with colorful dice, each with their own scoring properties. The darling children will learn how to fly and settle their differences with colorful dice, each with their own scoring properties.
Of course you have it.
Oh, my word, JK. That was so fast. I feel like I know the board game.
I will let you know that I did peek at your BGG played list, and you have played the board game.
In general or recently?
Yes.
How many clues do you want here? I'm trying to help.
Please stop resisting. I'm trying to help. Okay, say it again.
Yeah. The darling children will learn how to fly and settle their differences with colorful dice, each with their own scoring properties. Do you think you have either part of it?
Is darling a proper noun or is
It is a proper noun.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
Then, oh, no, because I don't know who the darling children are.
That's why I'm stuck. I know it's a thing.
I love watching you guys
Oh,
struggle.
I'm going to have
It's
to
good.
pass.
All right. James, do you want to try to get an answer in before? I think JK wrote very quickly. I think he has it.
I think I know the board game, though,
You stay off
to
the
your
internet.
credit. I was going to go on to my BG stats to see what
No,
games
I cannot. It's a TV show, and I cannot for the life of me remember who the family is. It's not Fresh Prince. No, I can't think of the show. I can't.
All right. Let's see what
Pass.
JK wrote down. JK wrote Peter Panda Royale, which is exactly the answer I was looking for.
Peter Pan. That's the.
who's-
That's right. Not a TV show.
Whose BG stats
Well-
were you looking at? Because I have not played that.
I thought you played it with
You
us
haven't played Panda
recently.
Royale?
No.
I was looking at someone in this group has played it. Probably JK because he got it right.
I played it.
I like it.
Oh, James, great news! You're up next, and
What?
I will let
I'm
you
so
know.
excited.
Well, now I'll save it. James, this is the tragic story of a beautiful soprano who will need surgeries performed by a mysterious and disfigured doctor.
Wow. Beautiful story of a soprano.
The tragic story of a
Tragic.
beautiful soprano who will need surgeries performed by a mysterious and disfigured doctor.
Beautiful soprano. Surgeries.
JK's not writing quite as quickly as he
He is
did
not.
last time.
I'm trying to think of the game aspect of this. I want to. I mean, when you're doing this disfigurement and surgeries, there's only a couple games. There's a Frankenstein game.
Mm-hmm.
There is the Euro. I don't think you'd be doing that one though with the Golem. I don't think it'd be Golem. I think it's the. Say the last part again.
Let me say the whole thing.
Okay.
Because I don't know where to break this one up. The tragic story of a beautiful soprano who will need surgeries performed by a mysterious and disfigured doctor.
Oh, the doctor is mysterious and disfigured, not like the patient. Ugh. I pass. I can't.
Okay. JK, Emily, nothing?
Mm-mm.
Any clues?
James, I've been told that this is, well, yeah, I'll say this. I've been told it's one of your favorite films.
Oh. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
What's your favorite film?
I'm not gonna say it out loud.
Ugh.
They've
No.
already retired, so you can talk it out if you want to. It's not worth any points, but it might be
But how
fun.
is Moulin Rouge?
Oh, that was one option I was given.
Flam
I might have been
Moulin
helped
Rouge?
on this question. What I was looking for, my wonderful host, was Phantom of The Operation.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Phantom Ink of
I
the
went
Opera.
Phantom Ink of the Opera.
All right.
That's funny.
Opera.
So,
That is my other favorite, yeah.
JK, we turn to you. No
Okay.
points on the board yet.
Okay.
JK, not much has changed in this deluxe edition of the popular co-op game that tests a group of survivors' ability to work together and stay alive while facing crises and challenges from both outside and inside. We've just added a touch of gray to the artwork.
Grateful Dead of Winter.
Grateful Dead of Winter is what we were
Wow.
looking for. Great job,
Give me a
JK,
break.
on the board with 2 points.
My brain is so broken.
All right, Emily. Emily, I'm feeling good about this one.
I'm not, but go ahead. Is it Sky Team?
Emily, a boy's best friend is cut down and turned into a card game where finding the sevens is one of the win conditions.
Oh. Okay, say it again. Sorry.
A boy's best friend. This one's so ridiculous. A boy's best friend is cut down and turned into a card game where finding the sevens is one of the win conditions.
Okay, I know the game. Who's the boy's best friend?
I don't think I've played this game, but I know what it is, and it's not
so
coming to
fun.
me.
Boy's best friend. Oh,
Uh-oh. I saw that spark.
boy, not man's best friend.
Oh, I gave Emily a shrug because I'm not good at radio.
It's Puppy Trio is my guess.
The Puffy Trio?
Puppy Trio.
The Puppy Trio. You are on the right track. You got the board game
Yeah.
part right. James, any idea? James is finishing up. James says The Giving Trio. JK said The Giving Trio.
Hey, I got
James,
one of
you were
Dwayne's.
behind. You get a point.
The book. Okay.
I can just no. I quit. I can just leave right now.
James, you're up.
Oh,
Congratulations.
I'm back. I can change my mind.
James, this Nintendo's mascot first outing on the Game Boy has him being led through the jungle by strategic wordplay.
Say it again.
Yeah. This Nintendo's mascot first outing on the Game Boy has him being led through the jungle by strategic wordplay.
Okay. I'm led through the jungle with strategic wordplay.
I think part of this is kind of a give me, hopefully.
Donkey Kong,
Okay.
right?
That is a Nintendo mascot.
Yes. But it's the word thing. Donkey Kong. Looking at Dwayne's eyes for any kind of affirmation here. I'm thinking of word game. There's got paperback. There's bananagrams. Donkey Kongagrams.
Donkey Kongagrams. That's a fair guess. JK did write an answer. Emily, did you write one? All right, let's see what JK said. JK said
I went with Landmarkio.
that's pretty clever actually, and you're on the right track. I was
Okay.
looking for Super Mario Landmarks.
Okay.
Oh.
Mario Land.
Super Mario Land and
Landmarks.
Landmarks.
Oh,
Word
jeez.
clues.
All right, JK, we're back to you.
Yay.
JK, you can sow and grow sinister seeds to create the most bountiful candy crops with popular Gothic literature characters in Victorian England.
Hit me one more time.
Yep. Sow and grow sinister seeds to create the most bountiful candy crops with popular Gothic literature characters in Victorian England.
See, the sad part is I think I know the game of growing candy because I own it.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot come up with the name of what that game is.
Like I said, I might have creeped on y'all's BGG when I was creating
yeah.
this game, trying to level the playing field a little bit.
What is the name of that game? I kickstarted it. I played it once. It was fun. It was fine. I'd play it again. I'm not gonna get it.
Nope.
Nope.
James or Emily, any guess? James said Dreadful Meadowton Abbey. I love it. James, you got the game right. I was looking for Penny Dreadful Meadows.
Yep.
Oh, there's got to be some points in this, though. There's some points. Come on.
There is 0.1 points. All right.
Hey, the game I couldn't think of is called Dreadful Meadows.
Oh, yes, listeners.
okay.
Yes, that's the game.
Got
Dreadful
it.
All right. That brings us back to the final round. One more question for each of you. Emily, we're going to start with you. As the cursed storyteller, you use abstract artwork to convey ideas to other players. This will help you survive a relentless entity seen only by you.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Say it again.
As the cursed storyteller, you use abstract artwork to convey ideas to the other players. This will help you survive a relentless entity seen only to you.
Once again, I think I know the game. Abstract artwork is going to be either Dixit or Canvas. And entity seen only by you. What kind of entity?
A relentless one.
Which makes me... Well, honestly, the one that's coming to my head is Haley Joel Osment, but I don't know how to combine those, and I've never seen The Sixth Sense, so I don't know the characters.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Say it
JK
one more
gets me
time,
so
Dwayne.
Yeah.
fast.
As the cursed storyteller, you use abstract artwork to convey ideas to the other players. This will help you survive a relentless entity seen only to you.
I want to be like Canvas Assassin's Creed.
Mysterium. I don't know the answer.
That's where I'm stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
You're definitely going down the right path with the games you said.
But I don't know if I know the other part of the clue to be able to piece them together.
Okay. JK, James, you got anything you want to write down before JK reveals?
No.
All right, JK, what do you think it is?
I believe it is Dixit Follows.
Dixit Follows is correct.
Oh, it
Wow.
follows. Okay.
No, I was stuck on Mysterium was where I was. Yeah.
All right, James, you got a chance still. You ready?
Sure, Dwayne.
Okay. You've left your day.
When you laugh, it does
I
not
know,
give me
I'm
confidence.
Sorry. I'm sorry. We're gonna have a second take on that
Laughing
one.
at me.
You've left your days as a tiny monster enslaver behind to look for errors in trivial facts.
Left my days as a monster enslaver.
As a tiny monster enslaver behind
Monster enslaver.
to look for errors in trivial facts.
I think I know. Yeah. Okay. I got that. Now what's the game? Technically, that could either be a pop culture or a game.
Okay.
But
Yep.
my days as a tiny monster.
Enslaver.
Am I tiny or are the monsters
The
tiny?
monsters are tiny.
Okay.
Let's say they're small enough to fit into your pocket.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it is. This can't be based on games I've played. I don't think so. It doesn't fit with that.
I feel like it's a known. You might not have played this game, but it is a known quantity in our
Oh,
network.
for sure. I mean, I'm
All
thinking.
right, I got it.
Pokemon, actually, but I can't
I got it.
bring it together.
Okay,
James, let me have a point.
You are
Pokemon
right
actually.
there. You are right there.
Pokemon, actually.
Emily said,
Pokemonikers?
that one's really good. I'm going to put that in the bank for
You're
later.
saying that's not it?
JK, you got anything?
Couldn't come up with the game, but I went with Teal'cum, actually.
I almost put
We
that
got the
too.
actually part. What I was looking for is
what else is?
you had the right idea with Pokemon. Ash Ketchum, actually.
Oh my gosh, Dwayne.
I even went down the anime road for you, James.
Oh.
All right, JK.
Bring it home. Here we go.
JK, I saved the best for last.
Am I winning? Can they catch me?
Man, Pokemonikers is so good.
What was I trying to say? A tie is possible.
Okay.
JK, compete with other owners to amass the greatest library of sacred fried chicken recipes for your fast food franchise. To do so, you'll need both the workers and resources acquired with a limited supply of donated gold and blue sky meth.
That was a lot of words.
Yeah.
There was so much there.
I will read it again
that's
so you have
time.
time to digest this.
Okay.
Digest the chicken.
Compete with other owners to amass the greatest library of sacred fried chicken recipes for your fast food franchise. To do so, you'll need both workers and resources acquired with a limited supply of donated gold and blue sky meth.
The best I can come up with here is going to be Biblios Pollos Hermanos.
Biblios Polos Hermanos is what we were looking for.
What?
Oh my gosh. I thought for sure Food Chain Magnate was in there somewhere.
So, at the end of
Get out
the
of here. Just go home.
Volume
We don't
2,
like you.
JK has won with 4 points.
Yay.
Congratulations,
Oh.
JK.
Oh,
I'm going to have some
man.
chicken. Guys, we have talked about so much stuff. Is there anything else we need to discuss?
Not that I can think of.
I
but
don't think so. That
Well,
was a lot.
I certainly hope so. We have a lot of shows lined up this
we
year.
do
How
have
many?
a lot of shows. 23.
20. I have to sit
23
here
after this one.
23
Oh
more
my
times
gosh.
with you guys. That excites me. I'm very happy
What
at
a
this
treat.
fact.
What a treat.
I'm going to have to lose some weight, definitely, if I'm going to fit at this table all year.
That disc golf, baby.
Anyway, let's thank our sponsor for this episode, the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, serving all of Northeast United States paper needs all through New York, Pennsylvania, and elsewhere. That's Dunder Mifflin, the people person's paper people.
Say that 4 times fast.
Exactly.
Ooh.
You can find us on Instagram at Gleeful Meeple Pod. You can also email us at pod@gleefulmeeple.com and check out Meetup for all of the Gleeful Meeple events. We've got plenty coming up in February and March. Some new venues, sadly a venue that is closed, but we'll find a place to go instead of there. Come see us.
We always do.
See us. Play some games.
Bye,
Bye,
Gleeples.
everybody.